in all those markets that you mentioned, so Brazil, Argentina, or Turkey, sports it's really a religion. But the sport landscape it's very different to what you see in the US. So when you approach Argentina or Brazil, there's nothing else than football or soccer, as you call it in the US.
Yeah, no, I think, if we had to bet, our next sports thing that we do would be a football thing, a soccer football thing.
Soccer football
Not an
thing.
NFL football thing.
Very good, very cool.
Which would be tough for me. I find that game very hard to watch.
Yeah,
I enjoy playing European football, soccer, more than I enjoy playing American football, even though I played American football. But I enjoy playing it, but watching it is very tough. Nothing happens. Yeah, it's very slow.
It's different.
I've been to a lot of Arsenal games. There's a lot of just sitting, waiting for anything to happen.
And nothing happens.
Nothing ever happens.
But sometimes nothing happens, but you have those 30 seconds where everything changes and the joy that you get.
No, but I think that those 30 seconds only seem exciting because they were preceded by 2 hours of nothing.
No. If you have the feeling and the connection.
If you put 30 seconds of excitement of a European football game next to 30 seconds of excitement of an NFL game or a basketball game or F1 or even tennis, the European football would be the least interesting 30 seconds.
But if you think about it, it's the biggest sport in the world.
Which is really a mystery because it's so boring.
Well, I think it has to do with, it's kind of natural to people. If you give a kid a ball, he naturally kicks it.
It's only popular because it has such a low barrier to being able to play it. And so people associate it with because everyone plays, right? Like even Americans play. Like all you need is a little goal and a ball. And a ball. Like people
and a goal can be anything.
It can be 2 shoes that you drop on the ground.
Exactly.
People play on the beach, they play on this. But I'm just saying, it's the best sport as a player, right? Because the barrier to entry is low. Anyone can play. It takes 2 minutes to explain the rules. That's out. You can construct a field with literally I was on vacation over New Year's and we built a soccer field on a beach, a football soccer field on a beach in 5 minutes with everyone's shoes. Yeah, right. You cannot do that with any other sport. No. And so it's a great sport as a player. I'm just saying, as a sport to watch professional athletes play, it is the most boring.
It's the accessibility, I think it's one of the keys to make it such a big sport. We had in Madrid I live in Madrid, and we had recently the NFL game in Madrid. We had the Dolphins against what's the team in Washington? The
Redskins. It's 2 of our worst teams.
Yeah, well, that's what you get, no? Yeah. It's very complicated. The NFL was doing a very smart strategy where they were creating videos to actually explain the rules because the rules are complicated.
Yeah, no, so it's interesting. I took some Brazilian friends to a Cowboys game, and they could not believe how much fun it was and how interesting the game was because stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
And, they're hardcore soccer fans. Actually, one of the guys that went is a former professional soccer player. And so I think that, that's my hot, controversial opinion is that European football is boring. But, everybody plays, and that's why people want to watch.
Yeah, but now if you look at the European football, it has a lot of challenges also on the sponsorship and because you mentioned the in-stadium activations that you were doing. In American football, you have a lot of opportunities because you have a lot of things going on.
Look, and this has been the secret of success for the F1 and tennis, which are really, the F1 and tennis are really global sports, right? In a way that almost nothing, there's only really 3 global sports. Football, European football, the F1, and tennis.
And cricket.
No, cricket's not.
Well, it's not global. Well,
cricket's not a global sport because cricket is not popular in the EU. Yeah, cricket is not popular in South America, and cricket is not popular in the US.
But it's the second most followed sport.
Correct, but there's not enough money in it because of where the followers are, right? The only truly global sports that are have real big fan bases on every continent are European football, F1, and tennis. And tennis is such a random one, but it's true.
Yeah.
Now, what is true about all 3 of those sports what's true about two of those sports that's not true about the third, and why like in F1 and tennis have dramatically gained share on football, on European football. Why? Because frankly, the fan experience and the sponsor experience is far superior. Far superior. Yeah. Like in a way that European football hasn't really figured out. The other thing is European football has never managed to come up with like a truly global league. You have champions, this, that, but they're always changing, and you're never quite sure who's in it. And like, yeah, so you know, it's more regionalized or localized than those other sports that are truly global phenomena. But you know, it'll get there. But the biggest challenge I think for European football teams, and this is, you know, like we looked at sponsoring different stuff and whatever, is like they do not understand how to activate sponsorships, convert them to ROI, or frankly, even like, yeah, it's a different game. It's a different sort of setup than, you know, an F1 or a tennis deal or a European football deal.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes when you are sitting inside or when you look inside of the football clubs, they have, in some cases, this, we could call it arrogance in a way, where they know they've been so popular and then they're so connected to their community that they think they are the center of the world sometimes. And it's like, why are you asking me when you are a partner of Real Madrid, of FC Barcelona?
But to be frank, this is changing. This is also why the leagues in Europe are so protective about who can play inside their leagues. Right. So if you let anybody join if you truly try to come up with a global football league, you'd have a team in New York, you'd have a team in LA, you'd have probably a team in Miami, you'd have a team in Rio, you'd have a team in Sao Paulo, you'd have a team in Buenos Aires, you'd have a team in Dubai, and you'd have a team in Saudi. And at least 2 or 3 of those teams would immediately become contenders to win the league, because they would run them like businesses and their budgets would be astronomically higher.
Football is an interesting one, because if you look at cases like PSG, where a huge amount of money has come in, there's still one thing that is not
PSG
just...
though isn't a huge amount of money. Neither is Real Madrid. Like if you put any of those things up to like an F1 budget or an NFL budget, it's pretty little.
Yeah, but I'm talking in terms of...
Yeah, but that's why they have to protect the league. That's why it has to only be European teams. You can't start new teams. You can't have expansion. That's why. Because if you said, okay, we're going to have expansion...
Yeah.
You know, like if someone wanted to start an NFL team in London or an NFL team in Madrid, the NFL would be like, sure, let's go. You would on the European football side, if someone wanted to start a team in New York and LA, would never. No,
you need the problem is that you need to start on the lowest tier division.
They're not even allowed to do that.
No, yeah, but no.
Because like by the way, the
from
New York team or the LA team would work, and immediately as a player, you would immediately sign with New York or LA. Why? Because your sponsorship deals would be enormous as a player. You'd see the best players. If a team in New York or London started, or Miami or Sao Paulo even, you'd see 4 to 5 of the best players in Europe immediately defect to that team.
This is a very interesting idea, because if you think about global football, and there's an obsession, every football club, they want to conquer the US. The US is the biggest market, the best, the most interesting market for everyone. Everyone has been trying to go there. They've done summer tours. They're trying to now to bring official games there.
Like, you don't want to root for Madrid if you're living in Miami. You want to root for like a Miami team that gets to play Madrid.
Yeah. Well, the FIFA now is trying to do that with the Club World Cup that was in the US. And I feel that, there's so much investment in football going into the US at the moment, with the Club World Cup this year, the FIFA World Cup, that Messi went there, MLS is growing. But I think that if football doesn't crack the US market in 2026 with all the things that we're doing, I think it's going to be hard to find the same similar opportunity to crack it with this amount and level of investment though that is going now into the US.
Well, at the very least, it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an interesting next decade or two for sports. The people think okay, it's gotten extremely valuable. Can it, is it a bubble? I think it's going to get more valuable, but at the same time, I think it's going to change dramatically.
Yeah.
And hopefully, crypto and blockchain technology can be a big part of that.
And are you thinking when you think about blockchain.com, are you thinking about developing products for sports, or how you think your products can help sport fans or the sport industry?
I mean, until a fan is ready to until a club is ready to decentralize its ownership base, there isn't a lot for us to do. When someone's ready to do that, then I think it'll be very interesting. But I think that's probably still at least 5 years out.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah. They gotta really need to do
it. Time flies. So it's gonna be soon. And just to finish up, I'd love to get your idea on or your thought in what's, in your opinion, the biggest opportunity that the sport industry has with blockchain technology?
It's really to use the efficiency and the fact that you can, have economic beneficiaries without intermediaries to partner with your fans to create value. You can do something simple where you don't have to decentralize all the ownership of the club. You could go out and you could say, look, those 200 million Real Madrid fans, you guys now own 30% of Real Madrid. And we're just going to, everybody that can demonstrate that they've done X, Y, Z, we're going to give part of that 30% share. We're going to make you owners. You're going to be able to freely trade it. And let's all make this club more valuable together. This kind of goes back to what I said at the very beginning, which is economic orchestration. If you can go out and use crypto and blockchain technology to sort of organize a bunch of people for a collective economic outcome, you're going to have a better football club. You're going to have a more engaged fan base. You're going to have a higher revenue. You're going to have a higher equity value as a club, which will become a self-reinforcing loop. So I think that's the big opportunity for sports clubs globally.